going to preparing to live meeting, YouTube live. I don't really care for that.
Mitochondria are the parts of your cells that convert carbs, fat, and protein into fuel that your muscles use to do their job, like flex and contract. After 6 to 8 weeks, studies have shown that people can increase their mitochondria process called mitochondria.
Can you see it or not?
More
I don't really care for that.
Mitochondria are the parts that feel more fit.
Yeah.
And your endurance will increase. So running 3
I
miles.
could see the in review page and I could hear the video. I just can't see the
Okay,
video.
here it is, and I'll put it to the first, okay? Can you see it or not? Now you can see it?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
now-
now I can see it.
So running 3 miles.
I could see the in review.
More active lifestyle, you're not alone. In recent years,
There it is. I can see it now.
Americans have started participating in more sports, fitness, and recreation. Whether you're trying to get fit, build muscle, or you're just tired of the couch, here are some changes you can expect along the way.
Uh-oh.
The two most common reasons people go to see plastic surgeons are
No,
undoubtedly
that's
wrinkles
not what
and
I
laxity,
wanted.
otherwise known as sagging skin. But is surgery really the only solution?
Oh my God. Okay. I don't know. It's too. Stop. Okay.
Well, cosmetic procedures certainly have their advantages.
I don't
So
want
if they fit into
this.
your lifestyle budget, I definitely recommend looking into them. But the
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is not what I wanted. Okay, go away, go away. Nope. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. This is a TED Talk. I don't want this TED Talk. Okay, this is not doing it.
Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about what we in the lab every day. Also, what some of the exciting things.
I think what I'm going to have to do.
At first, I started by saying that the medical field is really turning into a band-aid field, right? So we wait until somebody develops cancer, and then we use chemotherapy or other therapies that do some good, but also kill cancer cells, but also kill the.
But I don't know how to get it back to where I wanted it.
We wait until somebody's brain is very damaged beyond repair, and then we do is we put a band-aid on it essentially.
Oh God, that's a good one for cancer. Oh, I don't know how to get back there now. I guess I have to take out the whole thing and don't go back.
Progressing further in their dementia, but it doesn't.
I'd have to go back in, and there it is right there, and go into YouTube again because I don't know how to do it. I had a good one too. Come on. Okay. Okay, that's the one. Exercise at home. I think that would be a good one. Well, you know what? I'm going to put benefits of exercise because that's what we talked about. There. There we are. That's a good one. That's 8 minutes. This one's 3 minutes. That's 13 about your brain. This is a good one. Okay. Many benefits of exercise from the Mayo Clinic. Now, let me see if is this sharing now?
Yes. Yes.
You can see it. Okay.
Tracy, we all know that exercise is good for you. It's an important part of maintaining a healthy weight and a healthy heart. But, that's not all. there are other benefits to exercise as well.
I'm sure there are.
Well, let's talk about
A study from the University of Birmingham and King's College London found that exercise over the course of a lifetime can making it easier to fight disease as we age. Here to discuss the many benefits of exercise is Mayo Clinic anesthesiologist and human performance expert, Dr. Michael Joyner. Welcome back to the program, Dr. Joyner.
Good to see you, Tom. Good to meet you, Tracy. So I guess we don't need to convince you about the benefits of exercise.
Right. Tom, if you look at really every organ system in the body, starting with the brain, blood
We can barely hear it.
the lungs,
I know. I don't know why it's so bad. The
your liver, your skeletal muscle, bones. Exercise has beneficial effects on almost every single organ system in the body for people of every age.
Including the immune system. So how does that happen?
Well, what people think happens is that
Huh.
exercise, you get a bolus of your own personal stem cells.
What do you mean by that?
Right, mobilize these things called progenitor cells. It gets a little complicated. We all hear about stem cells and regenerative medicine. It turns out exercise is also regenerative medicine.
Okay.
On a daily basis, those stem cells or progenitor cells go to different places in the body where they help repair, rebuild, and remodel tissue. That is also true in bone marrow when the immune system gets started.
So you're suggesting that we have more of these cells that help fight off infection, whether
Right.
it's bacterial or viral or whatever.
Cancer as
because-
well.
Yeah, because of exercise stimulating the bone marrow.
Stimulating the bone marrow and stimulating progenitor cells, which some are in the bone marrow, some are other places in the body that go into the bone marrow and then ultimately turn into quote better or younger, relatively younger cells. So if you look at the systems of older people who are physically active, they're functionally much younger than they predict based on their state of age. And that's also true with their heart, their lung, their skeletal muscle. And it really is the closest thing we found.
Is there good evidence that people who exercise get sick less often?
Well, it turns out there's large epidemiological studies showing that in about the 30 major forms of cancer, except for melanoma, which is associated with sun exposure,
There you go.
exercise
We can hear it better.
epidemiologically is
better.
in about half of
Good.
them.
Meaning studying a population.
Studying a
going
large
back,
population,
yeah.
people that exercise a lot have fewer cancers.
Does it make a difference if, you started exercising as a child and as a high school, college athlete, whatever, you just keep on going? Is it too late to start exercising?
Never too late. Never too late. And the important thing is for people to find something that works for them, something that's sustainable for them, and something that can fit into their daily plan. One of the most important things in the last 5 or 10 years is, people hear about 30 minutes per day of exercise. Well, it turns out you get the same benefit if you do 3 10-minute bouts. And that can be accomplished by something as simple as parking a little farther away in the parking lot and taking a little bit longer walk in from where you are. So a bunch of short, small bouts that give you a cumulative total are just as good as doing it all in one bite.
So we've known for a long time that exercise was good for your cardiovascular system,
Right.
your heart, your blood vessels. We talked about the benefits of the immune system and these progenitor cells,
You
as
bet.
you call them. But there's also some recent evidence about the positive effect on not becoming demented as you get older.
Right.
And there was this study in the journal Neurology that showed that highly fit, middle-aged women were less likely to develop dementia decades later.
Well, a couple of things there, Tom. If you talk to Ron Peterson our tremendous Alzheimer's expert here in Rochester at Mayo, Ron will tell you that if you look at the risk factors for Alzheimer's disease, a lot of them have a tremendous overlap with cardiovascular risk factors. They're diabetes, hypertension, blood lipids, inactivity, things like that you mentioned. And so one of the things that happens in the brain as people age is the little tiny blood vessels, the capillaries that take blood and oxygen to the brain and then take waste products away, get stiff, get damaged, don't work as well. And one of the things that is both true in the brain and throughout the body is that people who exercise, their small blood vessels work better and they continue to work well as they age. One of the things we did in my lab with Dr. Joe Barnes, who's now at the University of Wisconsin, is we gave people CO2 to breathe, carbon dioxide. Well, it turns out carbon dioxide dilates your brain blood vessels. And if you look at what happens as people age, the ability of the brain blood vessels to dilate to carbon dioxide goes down. But when you take fit people, give them a carbon dioxide, fit older people, guess what?
their brains vasodilate just like young people.
So it's got a lot to do with blood vessels all over the body.
And blood vessels are everywhere.
I just want to know if it makes a difference if I cardiovascular exercising or weightlifting. I'm probably should be doing both.
Well, and my response to that is yes. So the main thing is do something. And I think for a long time we emphasized mostly cardiovascular exercise, but one of the big problems, especially as people get into their 60s and 70s, is frailty. So strength training becomes important, or keeping your strength up through things like gardening and chores and housework. And I think people still get tremendous benefit from strength training only. I do a combination of both, and as I've gotten older, I'm 59 now, I've started to do more strength training.
What do you think about interval training? We have had heart specialists on here who are touting that as a good thing, as a good form of exercise. First of all, what does it mean, and are you a proponent?
Interval training are periods of faster or higher intensity exercise by interspersed with periods of slower exercise or less intense exercise. It's the absolute bedrock of training for elite endurance athletes. When I was
like us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's how I started running. That's how I was trained to run, and that's how I run.
Yeah, and you see it in the swimmers, you see it in the distance runners, the cross-country skiers, the cyclists, and so forth. And essentially, citizens' versions of this have emerged. So people do a minute or 2 or 3 of fast walking, followed by a minute or 2 or 3 of slower walking, so on and so forth. So there's a couple things. One, it is a very efficient way to get in shape. 2, it can break up the monotony of always doing things at the same pace. You probably get a little bit more bang for your buck. But again, I wouldn't say you have to do interval training. I would say it's a nice thing you can add on to do as well as your normal training. I personally do a lot of interval training, but that probably relates more to my long history in sports when I was a young kid than it does the fact that I'm a middle-aged person.
Statistics show that more than ever Americans are exercising, yet obesity is on the rise. So those things don't seem to go together. What's the disconnect?
We live in a tremendously obesogenic environment.
What does that mean?
It means it's just something that
causes
obesity.
Yeah.
So, and if you think about it, you're younger than Tom and I, Tracy, but when we were kids and you went to McDonald's, you got a small hamburger, about 15 French fries, and a 10-ounce soft drink.
Remember we talked
That's
about
about
this?
500 calories. You can
Not even on the menu now.
Yeah, you could eat one of those for lunch the rest of your life and you're not going to get fat. It's hard to walk into a fast food place now and not walk out with about 1,000 calories. I mean, things are supersized. It's very, very easy to do nothing all day long. So even though people are exercising, probably what happens is the amount of sedentary time they have overwhelms what exercise they're doing. And then the other thing is that, you go out and walk or jog 2 or 3 miles, that's 200 or 300 calories. Well, you can undo that with a bag of chips.
And don't forget, there's a difference in activity level too, because remember, you and I were the remote. You might have been too.
I was the remote.
And we had to open the garage door.
Bingo.
We didn't have a garage door opener. You had to get out of the car. You had to lift the garage door. There's a lot of things that we used to have to do activity-wise that we don't anymore.
Tom. Well, and I'll give you an example. Is I like to ride my bike to work. And I live about just a mile or 2 from work. But when it's icy and it's cold and snowy, from about Thanksgiving to about now, I don't ride. I rode, and I noticed that my weight goes up 2 or 3 pounds in the winter. As soon as I start riding my bike again, just a couple miles a day of biking just goes right down.
By July, you ought to be able to ride your bike here in Minnesota.
Well, one of the real interesting things about that is the big UK Biobank, their version of personalized medicine or precision medicine initiative in the United Kingdom. They've looked at the genes associated with obesity and some lifestyle factors, and people who ride their bikes to work are 1.5 BMI units lighter than people who don't, and that's about 5 or 8 times the effect size of the largest gene variant associated with obesity. So it really matters what you do.
All right, bottom line is you got to exercise. The benefits are too strong to ignore.
And find something you can do, find something sustainable, do it almost every day.
All right, anesthesiologist and human performance expert, Dr. Michael Joyner. Always great to have you on the program. Thanks
Always
for showing
great to
up.
be here. Thank you.
Okay, everybody got that?
Yes.
And remember we talked about it in chapter 5 about the size, the super size and the little one? That was the one I did on the portion sizes. That was a good one. Okay.
Yeah, I remember back in like when I was younger, they had bag of fries that you could get at McDonald's because the fries were just. I remember you being able to get either a giant cup full of them or you can ask for a whole bag of them and get a whole bag of fries. Now they won't even allow you to do that. I mean, that's good to some extent. They won't let you supersize things anymore, but it's still huge, the portions that they get.
Yeah, anywhere you go to, the portion size is double what it was back in the 1950s or 60s. That's what he's saying. It's incredible, the amounts. So, okay, so I think that was it for today. Or do you have any questions or anything? I hope the recording's still on.
Yeah, it shows up there that it's still recording.
It does. Yeah, keep an eye on it, guys. I need your little footprint there on that, because it seems like I forget and then I don't look at it and they go, oh my God, So yeah.
When are you going to discuss the last exam? Because I think I had 3 mistakes. I don't know what those 3 mistakes were.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I missed 1 or 2 questions, I believe.
Yeah, you know what, I'd have to go back in there and look at it.
Yeah. Because I thought I did well, and then oops, 3 mistakes.
Yeah.
What were those? I just want to know my mistakes.
Okay, well, maybe I'd have to do one-on-one with you.
Oh.
Maybe that's the only way I could do it. I'd have to go back in there and look at it.
Okay.
On the exam. Maybe we could do that like Thursday before class or right after class.
Right after class will be okay with me.
What's that?
Right after class will be okay.
Okay, on Thursday would be perfect.
Okay.
Okay. All right then. I'll talk to you later. Remind me. Have a nice week. I'll see you Thursday.
Have a nice rest of your week.
Okay.
Thursday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.